This is Nostradamus Century 2 Quatrain 44, a cryptic vision of pursuit, chaos, and sudden awakening that pulses with dramatic tension. Imagine a kingdom, ancient and vast, ruled from a sky-high citadel. At its heart, a golden eagle, its wings spanning the breadth of legends. This eagle was more than a bird. It was the living symbol of the empire, the embodiment of its power, its reach, and its unyielding pride. Its cry was the decree of the emperor, its shadow a promise of protection or a threat of swift retribution. The people below looked up to it with a mixture of reverence and fear. It was their strength, their identity, their everything. But the winds of change began to blow, not as a gentle breeze, but as a gathering storm. From the shadowed valleys and forgotten frontiers, other birds began to rise. These were hawks with eyes like flint, falcons with talons honed on rebellion, and ravens whose croaks sounded like prophecies of doom. They were the new powers, the rival factions, the discontented lords who had grown weary of living under the eagle's singular shadow. At first, the eagle dismissed them. It performed its majestic circles in the sky, expecting the lesser birds to scatter as they always had. But they did not. They swarmed, a chaotic cloud of feathers and fury, their numbers a testament to a long-simmering resentment. They nipped at its tail feathers, harried its wings, and their relentless calls fractured the sky's tranquility. The great eagle, for the first time in its immortal life, felt the sting of fear. Its majestic flight became a desperate retreat. It was no longer a ruler of the skies but a fugitive. With its strength waning and its pride shattered, it saw only one refuge, the tallest tower of the palisades, a stone fortress meant to keep enemies out, not to trap its own symbol within. With a final desperate burst of speed, the eagle plunged into an arrow-slit window, trading the boundless sky for a cold stone prison. The other birds did not relent. They swirled around the tower, a vortex of avian rage. They clawed at the stone, their beaks hammering against the walls, their cries echoing through the kingdom. The siege had begun. Down below in the city, the people were thrown into chaos. The symbol of their stability was gone, trapped. In their panic, they turned to noise, to anything that might drive away the encroaching darkness. They brought out great bronze cymbals, clashing them together in a desperate, thunderous rhythm. They blew into long, curling tubes and war horns, their mournful, blaring notes tearing through the air. They rang every bell in every steeple, from the smallest silver chimes to the great iron behemoths in the cathedral, creating a deafening, dissonant symphony of fear. The air vibrated with the sound, a chaotic wave of metal and desperation. It was the sound of an empire coming apart at the seams. Now, in a forgotten wing of the royal palace, there lived a lady. She was once a queen, a princess, a figure of grace and wisdom, but a profound sorrow had unhinged her mind. She lived in a world of whispers and shadows, her senses dulled, her reason lost to a quiet, consuming delirium. The rise and fall of the sun meant nothing to her. The affairs of the kingdom were like a story told in a language she no longer understood. Her attendants moved around her on tiptoe, speaking in hushed tones, careful not to disturb her fragile peace. But on this day, there was no peace to be had. The relentless, clanging, booming, shrieking noise from the city outside pierced the thick walls of her chambers. It wasn't a whisper. It was a physical force, an assault on the senses that shook the very foundations of her quiet madness. The clashing cymbals were like lightning strikes in her mind. The blaring tubes were like a primal scream that tore through the fog. The tolling bells were like a frantic heartbeat, demanding to be heard. And in the heart of that overwhelming chaos, something shifted. The noise didn't drive her deeper into her delirium. Instead, it shattered it. It was so total, so absolute that it broke the spell that had held her captive for so long. Her eyes, once vacant, flickered with a new light. The layers of confusion began to peel away, one by one, with each jarring clang and resonant toll. It was as if the world, in its moment of complete and utter pandemonium, had screamed loud enough to finally wake her up. She sat up, her posture straightening with a forgotten authority. The insane lady was gone. In her place, a woman of clarity and purpose looked out the window. She saw the eagle, her nation's power, cornered and afraid. She heard the chaos, the sound of her people's terror. And in that moment of cataclysmic noise and collapsing order, she found her senses restored. The chaos that broke the empire was the very thing that reawakened its lost mind. A new chapter was about to begin, not from a place of peace, but from the very heart of the storm. What do you think Nostradamus truly envisioned here? An ancient battle, a future crisis, or something unfolding now? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the world of prophecy and legend.